Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Graham O'Brien, and some of the stories coming up in today's news. High school kids gear up to showcase electric vehicles, Bhutanese celebration of volunteers, Mayor plants rare tree, and more. It was a black time for motor vehicle deaths this long Labour weekend. Our region was fortunate not to figure in the total. However, 3 people were lucky to escape with minor injuries after the driver of the car they were in lost control on the Whangamua Saddle on Sunday morning. Witnesses told police the sports car had overtaken a bus shortly before the car hit one bank and then careered across the road and over the opposite bank, where it was stopped by trees. A number of vehicles stopped to assist, and shortly after, a motorcycle rider hit one of the stationary vehicles. The Nelson Marlborough rescue helicopter, along with other emergency services, was called to the scene at approximately 11 a.m. after the accident involving the 2 cars and motorcycle. The on-board intensive care paramedic helped assess and stabilise the patients before the more seriously injured motorbike rider, a 24-year-old Nelson man, was airlifted to Nelson Hospital with a serious leg injury. The remaining 2 patients were then transported to hospital by ambulance. State Highway 6 was closed for about an hour as a result of the accidents. Police would like to speak to anyone who saw either the motorcycle or the sports car prior to these crashes. In other rescue call-outs over the weekend, the helicopter and crew responded to 3 calls in Golden Bay and Abel Tasman areas on Saturday. The first was a call-out to a 3-year-old Upper Takaka boy with medical problems. This was followed by another call-out to Upper Takaka to airlift a 2-year-old boy suffering from serious breathing difficulties. The final call for the day was to Araroa in the Abel Tasman National Park, where a 2-year-old boy required medical care also for breathing difficulties. All the children were airlifted to Nelson Hospital for further care. Meanwhile, 2 French tourists will be thanking their lucky stars to have escaped serious injury after losing control of their vehicle and rolling down a cliff in the Upper Cobb Valley early Friday evening. The Nelson Marlborough rescue helicopter responded after reports of a vehicle leaving the road and plunging 15 metres into the river below. Despite rolling several times, the occupants were able to free themselves from the wreckage and scramble back up onto the road to raise the alarm. Given the lack of landing sites, the rescue helicopter's onboard intensive care paramedic had to be winched down onto the scene, where he assessed and treated the 2 occupants before they were loaded into the hovering helicopter and transported to Nelson Hospital in a moderate condition. Local youth teams have been equipped with electric bike component kits, some rules and mentoring, and are set for this year's electric vehicle competitions. Students in the Nelson region have been working on designing and building these electric vehicles, or EVs, with assistance via optional weekend boot camps. This is the first year for the Evolicity Challenge to be held in Nelson for local participating schools, and will be showcasing their EVs this Wednesday at Trafalgar Park. The event is a voluntary high school project with local schools representing our region gearing up to take their EVs to Christchurch on November the 28th to compete alongside other high schools. Roger Waddell is behind our region's schools participation, and Chrissy Small caught up with Roger and a very enthusiastic EV team at Motueka High School.
Kindle and Hannah, look, it's very unusual to see a girl in engineering and doing this kind of, I don't know, what would you call it, invention?
Well, it's kind of an invention. We've made it, so it is our invention, yeah.
So what part have you played in this, Hannah?
I'm more the electronic side, so the science behind it. I love science, so it was a good opportunity for me to learn about the electronics.
Right. Kendall, you're one of a team as well. What part have you played in this?
I was one of the 2 builders. Dale was the other builder, and we've just built the thing from scratch, basically.
Right. Okay, so how much have you had to beg, borrow and steal to get all the parts here?
We've bought quite a lot of it, and anything we couldn't buy we've made by ourselves here.
Okay, how long has this project taken to build?
A few months. Dale and I have been in here every lunchtime building.
Okay, so does it go?
Yes.
What speed have you got it up to so far?
I think we had it going around 30k yesterday, just on the bench here.
Okay, so of course when it's being driven, there'll be all kinds of safety gear to go with it, I would imagine.
Yeah, we've got a couple of full face helmets, and Hannah here is doing our uniforms.
Okay, so you're not just doing the technical side, you're doing the uniforms as well.
Yeah, well, we've been lucky enough to get some overalls to wear, and we're sewing our sponsorship logos and also our team logo on it.
Great, okay, so how many involved in the team?
There's 4 of us.
Students, but there's been Mr. Ellyn and Mr. Nelson helping out with us.
Okay, so there's quite a team really.
Yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Ellyn is a teacher here at Mott High. What's his position?
Engineering teacher, technologies teacher as well.
And he's obviously a good one.
Very good.
So who gets to drive it for the first time, Kendall?
Hannah probably.
So you fancy yourself as a bit of a speedster?
Not the speedster so much, but there is an economical competition, which I'll probably be.
So you're featherweight?
It's it's to see how fast you can go and also how much is left in your battery. So it's, not just speed that comes into it.
Right. Now I believe you've got someone doing the computer side of things as well?
Yeah, that's mainly Lawrence, but I've been trying to learn what I can.
Okay, what does that involve with the computer side of it?
Well, we've built our own controller, which controls the motor and how much energy it's getting. And the chip for the controller we've had to program by ourselves.
So you're looking forward to the 28th?
Definitely.
What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, sure.
So will the whole team be there?
Yeah.
And supporters, of course?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thanks guys for taking your time out today. Thanks. Okay, Mr. Ellyn, look, what a great little machine this is. I suppose this has been a real team effort.
Total team effort. Dale, unfortunately, is not here, neither is Lawrence, but the team have really worked hard. Lunch times, after school, they even came in during their school holidays and put in the hours.
Tell me something about some of the challenges they've had in making this vehicle.
Some of the major challenges have been like the mountain bike wheel. We had a mountain bike wheel and they freewheel. We have to go in reverse, so it meant we had to lock that wheel up. We couldn't get the gearing that we quite wanted, and so we've had to build our own ways of building pieces to adapt and pieces like that, and getting the gearing right down so we can get a slow enough speed and still move away, because the idea is that the cart has got to move away itself from a standing start and keep moving when we turn it, but we still want a reasonable speed out of it. So they've been challenges. The electronics has been a major challenge. We've had problems with electrical spikes. Could be sometimes up to 10,000 volts going through the line, which blew out all our transistors. So we blew out 2 boards, and bringing in one guy to help us as well, and it's been rather wonderful, and the kids have learnt a lot from that, and it's been quite fantastic.
So you've been grabbing in the odd expert who's offered a bit of time for the helping of such problems, I see. Yeah,
Clive Rose is his name. He's offered to come along and mentor the kids. He doesn't give them the answers. He works with them. And it is really interesting because he talks at the same time about his past life and what they achieved and the problems they had other places. And it's been really good. It's been a fantastic learning curve. And it's good for the kids because they need to problem solve the idea themselves through it. Right. And it's really fantastic.
So what's your opinion of your team here? Are they winners?
Oh, best team in the world. I wouldn't be without them, honestly. They have really made 250%. They've just gone way above what they should be. And it's just been fantastic. And so I'm proud of them. I'm very proud.
Yeah. What have you got to say to the other teams out there that are competing on the 28th?
Look at the district. It is a district thing. Help each other, work hard and enjoy it. We're a year behind Canterbury, and so they were a year ahead of us with advantage. They've got Christchurch Polytech helping them. We don't, but enjoy it. Think of the district, think of sharing, and the more ideas we share together, it'll be fantastic, and we'll all have a fantastic time.
Great. We'd like to see the district take some prizes, wouldn't we?
Oh, definitely. That's why it's a district thing. Yeah. Go down there, we're representing this district. Great. Let's show them what we can do. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Roger, tell us a bit about this challenge and how come Nelson's now involved?
Well, it's a really exciting challenge because we've been looking down the way at Canterbury and they've been running this for a year, and we were approached by the Canterbury people, eVelocity, and they said, look, we've got the capacity in the top of the south, we've got schools that are interested, it's a great project because it's so cross-curricular, let's have a go at making the schools have a go at this. So the ultimate outcome of that is next Wednesday, October the 28th, between 5 and 8 p.m. we've got an event at the Trafalgar Park where the 7 school teams will be showing off their various constructions, their EVs or electrical vehicles. And apart from that, we've also got about 15 different stall holders, exhibitors ranging from electric bike providers. We've got a couple of electric commercial cars like the Nissan Leaf and the Mitsubishi Outlander. We've even got a guy, Albie Burgers, coming over from Golden Bay with a homemade electric car. It's going to take him 3 days for the round trip because he's got to charge in between. But the new technology is such that you should be able to, with the new battery technology, do that sort of trip easily. We've got a whole range of providers and there'll be stalls and that sort of thing as well. But the focus will be around the 7 school teams. They're doing 5 different challenges or events. One of them's a 100-metre sprint. So that's all about speed, and the police are coming to the party there and they're doing the radar testing for that. We've got a backing demonstration, which is pretty much just the Motueka High School one because this is the only trike. The rest are pretty much bikes. Mainland College does have a shopping trundler modified. We've yet to see how that's going to work. One of the other challenges is what's called the 3-kilometre economy run, which is a test of the battery power and just the whole construction of it. And then we've got another one which is rolling resistance. That's where the drive is disengaged from the vehicle and we can see how far the vehicle can coast. And finally, the 5th one is a circuit where the students in their vehicle have to go around some cones, navigate around there. So a lot of that's coming into the geometry of the vehicle as well. So we're hoping a lot of the public will come along because it's about students, but it's also about seeing some electric vehicles that are commercially out there.
This is a really good thing for kids to be focused on because we're kind of looking at this as a necessity for the future for the planet, aren't we?
I was saying to Kindle and Hannah before that the second car they buy, might even be the first, will be an electric vehicle. There are only at the moment 660 in New Zealand that are registered, but that amount is exponentially increasing as the cost of them drops. So one vehicle a couple of years ago, a Nissan Leaf, was about $60,000. They're down to about $30,000 now. And of course we've got to be aware of our carbon emissions, and apart from the construction of these vehicles, the emissions from an electric vehicle are basically zero. We're seeing a rollout of electric charging stations throughout New Zealand, and the sort of people like our sponsors, Nelson Electricity and Network Tasman, have got in their strategy plan to have charging stations around Nelson as well. So it's really exciting time to be involved in this new technology.
Roger, it sounds like you're putting a lot of effort into this as well as the teams out there. Do you think we've got any winners here that can be taken up down to Christchurch to show off what extraordinary young teams we've got here?
Yeah, well, in this competition, and we shouldn't really call it a competition because the Nelson event is first and foremost a can you do it over those 5 events I just mentioned. Yes, we will have winners. I'm picking, I shouldn't say this, but Motueka High School have got a fantastic design, and on the day, apart from any gear failures, hopefully we won't get that, then we're going to see that this will do really, really well. All of them are being supported by the sponsors to have the chance to go down a month later, November the 28th, at Ruapuna Motorsport Park. And there, I'm very jealous, they've got a Tesla, which is top of the line, and that's going to be racing against Ferrari. And already we're seeing on YouTube clips that a Tesla is way ahead of the petrol head cars. So there's a little bit of tension in there between the petrol heads and, I don't know what you guys would call yourselves, but the electric or the spark heads perhaps, yeah.
Spark heads of the future perhaps.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Roger, they're really going to give them a run for their money, aren't they? And look, we are looking at alternative energy now. It's becoming a big thing with people having solar. this is just the beginning for Mott High, I would say.
Absolutely, you know, won't be too long, hopefully, before there's a big photovoltaic array on the top of this school. I run an accommodation business where we've got a huge array of photovoltaics, and we're looking at buying electric cars so that we can make the best use of that free energy that Nelson's famous for.
Well, the oil companies won't be liking you, will they?
Well, hopefully the oil companies are seeing the writing on the wall and are moving into that space already, yeah.
Roger, thanks very much for your time.
The school's EV Challenge is on at Trafalgar Park in Nelson this Wednesday the 29th of October at 5 p.m. The public are invited to attend to see the students' creations in action. On Friday, Tasman Mayor Richard Kempthorne took to the shovel to plant a rare tree that was thought to have been extinct. Mainland TV's Ethan Williams caught up with the Mayor at the Gardens of the World in Hope.
I'm here with Richard Kempthorne, Mayor of Tasman District, and Francis Day from Gardens of the World. It's pretty great to see a little tree here that everyone kind of thought was extinct for a while be planted here. Why was it planted here?
Well, David Noble found it about 15 years ago in a ravine in the Blue Mountains in Australia, and it was thought to be extinct and only a fossil existed. The tree itself dates back to the dinosaurs, has actually had 7 ice ages that it's lived through. It forms a polar cap on the end of its top and on the end of its branches, which they thought protected it through the ice age. It's so rare that it's really like finding a dinosaur alive, really. It's that rare. And why it's here? Well, they would like it, Australians would like it planted around the world so the species can survive. And there was a benefactor of the Botanical Gardens in Christchurch managed to bring one to New Zealand through the biosecurity system and its quarantine, and from that they have propagated some plants now to go around parts of New Zealand. This is a very special garden because it's Gardens of the World and we're in Australia section, and this is an Australian plant from Australia, and so because Tasman's a very important part of New Zealand, centre of it, with Nelson, and we feel that a tree planted here is very, very significant, that we're doing something for conservation, something to protect these rare species, and something that the people of Nelson and Tasman can come and enjoy and see for themselves without having to travel to Australia or other parts of the world to find them. So that's how important it is.
Absolutely, and I suppose for you, Mayor Kempthorne, it's got to be a pretty big honour to plant such a rare and...
It is. It's great to plant a plant of this age, which we'll probably hardly ever see trees of this that have lasted this long. So it is a great honour, and it's really a privilege to have it here. Gardens of the World's a perfect location for it because we've got a lot of different country sections in the garden here, and it's been developed originally by the Etheringtons. It's a wonderful idea, and it's wonderful to have it here as part of the business. Crematorium, funeral directors, and it's an excellent location. You'd have weddings here?
Yes, this gardens will always remain the same. This is Gardens of the World for family occasions, for events and everything like that, for people of the district.
So it's wonderful to have a tree of this nature in this garden.
Fantastic.
An event on the weekend was held to thank volunteers working with the Bhutanese community in Nelson. Ethan Williams caught up with one of the organisers, Govinda Regmi, at the event.
So I'm here with Govinda from the Nelson Bhutanese Society. Govinda, it's awesome to see such a thriving and colourful festival going on here. Could you tell me a little bit about what is going on?
This is a festival called the Sai for all ethnic Nepali people. This is a gathering where people take blessing from the senior family members or the community members. And today what is happening is with all the senior community members, they offer tika on the right forehead, and they also give a symbolic like a plant, which means you are marked with the blessing and you grow like a plant prosperously like a tree. This is what is called symbolic, and people come in different colorful dresses to celebrate. That's the meaning.
So do the different colours of the dresses, do they have different meanings, or is it just per family?
Actually the color doesn't have the meaning.
Right.
Yeah. People could wear any color dress they like. It is their choice.
And so are these sorts of celebrations and festivals, are they open for everyone of every?
We can do this open, but the second part of this one is like we need to offer food to the guest, so we can't do it very openly. We have got limited invitees. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, since I've been here, I've seen kind of people from a lot of different cultures, really. I've seen people that are obviously local and were born in New Zealand, and people from Nepal and stuff. So, oh gosh, I'm just trying to think of another question. So could you tell me a little bit about what's going to happen from now on? What's happening today?
We have come to the end of the first part of our program, that is the Tika ceremony and the feast together is going on. And second part of the program is still very important today because Bhutanese are settled in New Zealand and Nelson. We have got about 200 plus Bhutanese living here in Nelson. In our settlement phase, we have been supported by our volunteer support workers for the different families since the beginning of our settlement in 2009. So we have been looking something for how can we recognize their volunteer services, which is very, very priceless. So this year we are able to achieve that, means achieve our dream, that we are honoring them with a scarf, which is white. We got that from Bhutan. And in our term, we call that dosala. And we are also presenting them a certificate of appreciation, saying thank you and recognizing their valuable and priceless service, without which our settlement would have been very, very difficult.
Fantastic. Hey, and thank you for the invitation to come today, Given. I look forward to seeing a bit about what's going on.
Yeah, it is my pleasure to come, invite and the people come and participate in our program.
Nelson is about to welcome home what some may consider as our dysfunctional son on his homecoming tour. Comedian Guy Williams is coming home to Nelson for 2 shows which kick off on Friday. Guy Williams came to light for most with his larger-than-life personality on the TV3 show Jono and Ben. Always seemingly happy to make a complete fool of himself on our TV screens, Guy's humour has always been delivered in a good-natured, goofy sort of a way. His first Friday show is described as an all-ages youth show and will be on at NMIT's Johnny Cash Room, followed by an R18 show later for the more mature at the Free House Ute. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that fat old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour.
We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time.
Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546 4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
I'm Francis from Nelson Auto Glass. We repair all auto glass, stone chips, windscreen replacements, scratch removal.
If you have an auto glass issue, our team will sort it.
Nelson Auto Glass Specialist, 84 Vanguard Street, Nelson.
Hi everyone, I'm Malcolm Harris from the Facilitators. We now look after sales for Mainland TV, radio, Sky and online. New Zealand On Air's latest Colmar Brunton survey confirms Mainland's large multimedia audience. If you're in business or want to put a message out to everyone in the Nelson Tasman region, plus nationwide on Sky or worldwide online, please give me a call or see our website at www.mainlandtv.nz.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more.
JCar. 120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Sit and Be Fit is on at the Victory Community Centre Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Victory Community Church, 238 Upper Vanguard Street. School terms only. Fun while you get fitter, work at your level.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa.
Free computer classes at the Nelson Library from the 22nd of October to the 3rd of December. Learn more about spreadsheets, research online, an introduction to tablets and much more. For more information, please go to the links provided. It's all on at the Nelson Truck Show, 14th of November from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the AMP Showgrounds, with B-trains, cranes, sing lifters, log trucks, fire engines and ambulances, and many more. This is a fun day out for all with Zorb balls, mini jeeps and bouncy castles. Come along and support the Stoke School PTA fundraiser. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Are you tired of endless reality shows? Would you prefer to watch captivating documentaries?
They have swallowed cars.
Exciting movies.
Go ahead, load up and shoot.
Music for the soul.
How do you think I ate your fish and chips? I did, you're mistaken.
Programming from around the world. Places to visit. Local news and views.
I'm Graham O'Brien and today's bulletin. Do you want to change the flag?
No, I don't want to change the flag.
Stay tuned to Mainland TV, your local station.
Edward Gibbon, the bathroom specialist, have a great range of bathroom ideas at their showroom at 23 McGlashan Ave in Richmond. Call in and check out some of the latest bathroom designs and fittings. Edward Gibbon, the bathroom plumbing and drainage supply specialist, 23 McGlashan Ave, Richmond.
Welcome me hearties to Smuggler's Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 546408.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.